Let's jump right into this explainer. If you look up at the very top of a world map, there is this massive geographical mystery hiding in plain sight. We are looking at a place that challenges everything we understand about human settlement, geography, and even global power dynamics. It's a land defined for millennia by its frozen silence. But as we're about to see, that silence is rapidly breaking. Welcome to our deep dive into the empty giant that is Greenland. We are talking about a landmass that is just mind-bogglingly huge. It's over 4 times the size of France, larger than Mexico, larger than Saudi Arabia, literally bigger than all of Western Europe combined. But here's the crazy part. The number of people living across this whole colossal expanse, it's smaller than what you'd find in a typical suburban neighborhood. To put that into perspective, 57,000. That is the entire population of the world's largest island. Just 57,000 people. Imagine taking the crowd from a moderately sized football stadium and just spreading them out across a landmass that stretches all the way from the North Atlantic deep into the high Arctic. It's a staggering reality, right? And it immediately makes you wonder, how on earth can one of the largest landmasses on the planet be almost completely empty? Now, if your first thought is, well, it's just really cold, you're really only scratching the surface there. The true answer is this wild mix of ancient geography, extreme isolation, and how natural resources are distributed. It goes way, way beyond just the weather. Actually, the real story begins hidden beneath the glaciers. To understand why practically nobody lives here, we have to look at what physically defines this place. We're talking about an environment dominated by an ice sheet so massive, so unbelievably heavy, that it literally pushes the bedrock down into the Earth's crust. In some places, this creates deep basins hidden beneath almost 2 miles of solid ice. 2 miles. Because of that, a staggering 80% of the entire island is just permanently covered in ice, a total legacy of the last ice age. That leaves a tiny 20% sliver of rocky coastline where any sort of human activity is even remotely possible. This permanent deep freeze dictates absolutely everything about life, the economy, and how people move around. And even on that tiny 20% of ice-free rock, the ground still fights back. We're talking about pervasive permafrost. This means there is absolutely no arable farmland. That completely prevented the kind of dense agricultural societies that drove massive population booms everywhere else in the world. You just can't grow vast crops there, so you simply can't support a huge booming urban population. Plus, because of the ice sheet and those deeply carved fjords along the coast, you literally cannot drive from one town to the next. There is no nationwide road network at all. If you live here, you're dealing with absolute isolation. Getting to a neighboring town means totally relying on helicopters, snowmobiles, or braving some pretty rough coastal waters by ferry or boat. But here's what's truly amazing. Despite these brutally unforgiving conditions, human beings have incredibly adapted to one of the absolute harshest environments on Earth. This isn't just a story about a frozen wasteland, it's a massive testament to human endurance. For thousands of years, people have used brilliant, innovative strategies to hunt, survive, and build communities in this icy frontier. It's a picture of resilience that spans millennia. We've got the Paleo-Inuit migrations mastering Arctic survival way back around 2500 BCE. Then, centuries later, Eric the Red and his Viking settlement show up, eventually followed by the total, mysterious disappearance of those very Norse settlers. It's a deeply complex human history, and that resilience just kept going, right up to its modern integration with Denmark in 1953. So, for centuries, this quiet isolation really defined the island. It was remote, kind of frozen in time. But today, the very ice that kept the rest of the world out for so long is retreating. And it's revealing something completely extraordinary. Everything we thought we knew about this empty giant is about to get turned on its head. Traditionally, the 57,000 residents have kept their economy afloat through massive fisheries exports and some pretty substantial financial subsidies from Denmark. But scientists and geologists have discovered a massive emerging third pillar, mining. Beneath that retreating ice, they've found vast economic potential that is practically guaranteed to change the island's future. We are talking about a literal vault of 21st century resources hidden beneath the mountains and off the coasts. There are massive reserves of rare earth minerals, stuff that is absolutely critical for our modern tech and global supply chains. There are huge untapped offshore reserves of oil and natural gas. And, locked right inside the ice sheet itself, is one of Earth's greatest natural stores of fresh water. it's incredibly valuable. But, all those resources were locked away securely until just recently. In a really sobering twist of fate, the future here is turning out to be much warmer than anyone expected. Decades of satellite data show the ice sheet is melting at an unprecedented, accelerating rate. It's this profound paradox. A severe, looming environmental crisis for the whole planet is, locally, uncovering an absolute treasure trove. And this rapid environmental shift forces us to ask a pretty serious question. Why is the whole world suddenly watching? Why are global superpowers, who honestly ignored this quiet island for decades, suddenly paying very, very close attention? Well, the answer comes down to a dramatic, rapid shift in the global geopolitical landscape. As the ice melts away, an entirely new Arctic paradigm is opening up. We're looking at new shipping routes that promise to drastically cut global trade travel times right across the top of the world. At the same time, those critical mineral reserves are suddenly accessible. Add in its pivotal location right between North America, Europe, and Russia, and this island is quickly becoming a highly strategic global military choke point. So now we have this wildly complex geopolitical chessboard forming. Denmark is trying to balance its historical sovereignty with some really sensitive foreign policy. The United States is actively looking to expand its NATO presence, viewing the island as totally crucial for North American defense. Meanwhile, China is eagerly looking to invest heavily in that emerging mining infrastructure. It's a very delicate, high-stakes balancing act over a place with just 57,000 people. What all of this really means is that the historic isolation we talked about, it is officially ending. The island is rapidly transitioning from a quiet, frozen expanse into a dynamic global center. It's now a hub for essential climate research, a total focal point for massive resource development, and a critical piece of global defense strategy. The silence is completely gone. So where do they go from here? The local population is facing some incredible, intersecting possible futures. They have to weigh the massive economic upside of ecotourism, expanding renewable hydropower, and even a really passionate developing indigenous independence movement. But all of that potential has to be carefully balanced against managing the severe climate risks that are literally altering their homeland every single day. There's the thought I want you to keep in mind, because it really captures the whole situation. Sometimes the most important places on Earth are not the ones with the most people, but the ones the world suddenly cannot ignore. This massive island has gone from being this empty geographical mystery to a vital global player. Its ice holds our climate's future, and its bedrock holds the resources of tomorrow. The world is changing fast, and this place is right at the very center of it all. As global climate shifts and superpowered geopolitics collide at breakneck speed, it leaves us with one incredibly critical question. When this frozen giant finally wakes up, how will it reshape our shared global future?
Thanks for watching World Decoded. Make sure to like and share, subscribe, and stay curious.